hate the thongs.
Oh, how extra it is?
Literally the length, like literally, like I don't know how to explain it, but like the triangle doesn't fit my vajayjay area.
Yeah.
It's like skinny, and then all of a sudden, like my thong goes all the way up to my waist. It doesn't fit like a true
You
triangle.
need fat pads.
Yeah.
That's what you need for
fat pads, obviously.
Fat panty pads. Welcome to another episode of The Beauty Breakdown, where we break down ideologies, misconceptions, and hot topics surrounding beauty. I'm Glamzilla, and today it's gonna be a curveball because we're breaking down what it's like to be a curvy girl in a non-inclusive world. Today I'm talking to my friend Catie. By day, she's a glamorous model. So yeah, I officially have a model friend. I've always wanted a model friend. And by night, she's a marketing genius. So let's get into it. Give her a beauty shot. Give her a beauty shot. Cue the Beyonce wind. Yes. Let's get into it. Hi, Catie. I'm so excited that you're here.
I'm so excited. Thanks for having me.
Oh my God. Right off the bat, I'm actually a fan.
I know, you know.
Oh, you know I'm a fan?
No, well, Rebecca told me you were a fan. And I was like, no, I'm a fan. So I was like, you're joking, right? Because I'm like a newbie to this industry. So it's
oh my God, no, she's not. She's been modeling forever.
9 years, yeah.
You know what? When I became plus size, which is probably 9 years ago, honey, I saw you in Fashion Nova. I saw you in so many different websites.
Yeah.
And you were the only girl that I related to because
Really?
you're Asian. And I was like,
that is so crazy because I'm from like a small town, so like I don't really think anything of it. I just like do it, and then you just don't think anything of it. And when people say that, you're like, I feel so regular and just like I don't know I can make that
you're
impact.
Regular?
You know
You're
what I mean?
regular?
You know what I mean?
You know what? Here's a secret. You're on my Pinterest board.
Shut up.
You're my body image Pinterest board lifelong dream.
Stop.
So you are everything to me.
That is amazing. I can't. That's like
Oh
speechless.
my gosh.
I can't.
Okay, let's dive into it.
Okay.
Hot topic question.
Yeah.
What do you think about the word fat?
Trauma.
Trauma.
Yeah, I think for me, I think now the word has changed, but I think growing up, the word fat was very negative, especially like being Asian. The word fat is very negative. And Asian American, I think, because I did learn fat, like in China, meant something different. It wasn't negative in China.
What does it mean?
Well, because if you were fat, that means you were being fed. You know what I mean?
Fed,
and you
girl.
were rich. That's what
Yes.
it meant. Like if you had paler skin, you were more chubbier. Like you were you had money and you could do those things. And if you were darker and skinnier, you were out in the fields like working. That's what my family had told me.
Yeah.
So when I was hearing fat growing up, like being an Asian girl from my Asian side, because they'll say it freely. They're like, oh, you're getting fat. Like they don't even sugarcoat anything. They're like, oh, it's not like you get a little chunky there. No, they're like, you're fat.
Yeah.
Like they say it in Chinese. And
you're
like,
so big now.
You're so big now. Yeah. And so you're like traumatized, you know what I mean? Because like I'm an American Asian. I'm not from China, so the cultures are very different. And I think my Asian side didn't mean it in a harming way, but they didn't understand the cultural differences.
I relate to that so much because growing up, like my aunts and my mom would be the ones that would tell me that you're fat.
Yeah.
You're getting big. And you know what? In school, that made me not have Asian friends. I didn't want to have Asian friends because all of the Asian girls in my school were 5'2" and a size 2.
A size, yeah.
So I'm this 5'7" plus size girl in grade 9.
Right.
I didn't feel like I belonged anywhere.
Yeah.
So it was really hard for me to relate to my Asian roots because I didn't feel like I was the beauty standard.
Yeah, I can see where that, I mean, I struggled too. Like I loved fashion so much, but I hated shopping. Growing up, like, and then looking back, I didn't feel like I was that big, to be honest. But at that time, I thought I was like really, really big.
Yeah.
And I would have to shop at the Missy's at like, when did you guys have Limited 2 in Canada?
Yes.
I wanted to wear Limited 2 and they didn't have my size. I was over the size. And that's what all the girlies were wearing. My mom would have to go to like, we would go to TJ Maxx, Marshalls or whatever, Macy's, and she'd be like, okay, you have to go to the Missy section. Because my mom's plus 2, so like this is what you have to do. And I remember I couldn't even find like proper jeans. Remember low rise was in, and like that was like a trauma in itself, low rise jeans. But it was a struggle for me. Like I never really found it fun. And when I look back at it, I get angry by it because like I wasn't even that big. Like I was just like tall and like bigger boned. Like I was curvy. Like I didn't have the same body type as, you know, my peers. And it's funny because you said like you didn't really have any Asian friends. Well, in the Bay Area, it's predominantly Asian. Yeah. And my girlfriends were white. My girlfriends were white.
It's hard to relate.
And I just didn't relate to them as much as I related more to like somebody in my white side or something like that. It was weird. It's weird being what people now call Hapa. I've always just said I was half.
Yeah.
And I actually took this class when I was in UCSB, and he was like, the professor was a Hapa, and he was like, look, you'll either have issues growing up as a Hapa or issues as an adult as a Hapa, like figuring out your identity, right?
Yeah.
I didn't have issues, I would say, until I was growing up. Like current day, I have issues with being too different versus like when I was younger. When I was younger, I was just like, oh, whatever.
For me, it was when I was growing up. Like I found it really hard to connect with my culture. Mm-hmm. Because, like I said, the beauty standard was so different. I've never felt like I fit in. Shopping for clothes, it was heartbreaking because I would always get bigger.
Right.
Just when I thought I was shopping at my store and I figured out my routine and what I was comfortable in, I got bigger.
Right.
And for me, I got bigger because I found comfort in food.
Yeah.
And
every emotion,
every
happy,
emotion,
angry, that's still to me for today. Like when I'm happy, like when I need, like when I'm exhausted and I need to pick me up, it's a boba. Like every time, like
you brought me a boba today.
That's like I was like I need a boba for today.
Right?
You know what I mean? Like it's always a thing connected. It's weird, you know.
Yeah, for me, I grew up with nothing, nothing. So our treat when we did well was food. Like my mom would buy me McDonald's.
Yeah.
Or buy me pizza because that was our treat. So we weren't just eating like corned beef.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
And from then on, it was a treat for me.
Yeah.
So
I think that still is now. Like, I think our era of our parents, they had like, I don't know about your parents, but my parents were like living in LA. It's like working out, eating healthy. Like that wasn't their era. Like their era was like my dad came from China. Like it was about building empires. Like you didn't have to go to college to be successful. You could literally just work on a craft and like become a millionaire. You know what I mean? And like they weren't focused on like working out and eating healthy. Like it's just a different era, I think. And like that instilled in their kids because like I didn't grow up having to go to the gym or anything like that. And
just about comfort.
Yeah.
And speaking about comfort, like the pillows that we have, we're currently holding pillows to ourselves.
This could be a toxic trait that I have from sitting. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So one day I was at a party and I was sitting down on the couch and I went and I said, "Can you pass me a pillow?" And I was like, it's comforting to hold the pillow. Yeah. But what I'm actually doing with this pillow is comforting myself that nobody's looking at my rolls when I'm sitting down.
Yeah, it's 100%. Subconsciously, I do that all the time. And consciously, I do that all the time. Because you know what? I don't trust nobody with these angles, okay? Because with curves, we have specific angles that make us look flattering. Yeah. And with being a model, I've noticed that people who don't understand curves, they don't care what type of angle that they're pointing at you. And like they can really make you unflattering or, you know, it's a whole thing.
You want to take away our pillows together?
Okay, we can take away our pillows. It's not bad.
Hey, how you doing?
I know, right?
Pillow free?
It's not bad. It's freeing, but you know, it's still like a what do they say? Like an emotional support.
Emotional support pillow.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I feel good. I kind of feel free. I also want to cry.
Really? Right? Yeah. It is kind of emotional when you think about it.
Yeah, because I wish I was able to do that for everything.
Right.
If I was able to let go of how I feel about myself in the mornings where I don't feel like I'm me. Yeah. If I could just throw it away like that, it would be so much easier to just be. Because I look at, you know what I'm jealous of? I'm not jealous that people are skinny. I'm jealous of the freedom they have to be.
Well, I agree. I'm jealous of the treatment that they get mostly, the opportunities that they get versus somebody who
Let's
doesn't.
talk about that. Since you're a model,
Yeah.
what are the differences that a plus size model has to go through versus just a regular model?
I mean, the opportunities is just one thing. There's an array of opportunities, and specifically, let's talk about beauty within that. They used to not have plus girls do beauty. That was really hard, and that's when I was started 9 years ago. At 5, even 5 years ago, that wasn't a thing. This is just recent that they just started using plus girls in beauty shots. I remember being like, I want to do a beauty campaign. And it was like, oh, that's really hard, girlfriend.
Yeah, because of the double chin, the wider face.
I never understood, because it's not like they honestly see your body. It's like from here up. Like, think about it. Rihanna just came out with a bunch of shades. This is all very, very recent with this stuff. So it's really hard. They get a lot more opportunities. I mean, it's one thing, just like white girls get a bunch of opportunities. And I'm half white, but nobody identifies me as white. So I can't really like go for those opportunities. I don't qualify for that. But like, it's one thing for white girls, and then
you don't qualify.
Pretty much,
that's
right?
messed up.
That's how the world is nowadays, right?
And like, if you are a plus size girl on a beauty campaign, you can't have a double chin.
You can't have a double chin. And plus is a size 14. It's not in LA. Now, if you go to New York, plus is like a size 10, 8. So when I started modeling, I was a size 10, not by choice. I was doing PR. I was a publicist, and I had lost a bunch of weight because the stress. It was literally just stress. We didn't eat. We were just on the go, and not on purpose. It just happened. And when I got discovered to become a model, they were like, oh, like if you become a size 14, you'll make more money. And I had just gotten into my workout routine, and I was like, oh, okay. So they kind of like encouraged me to do that, and I did do that. But it's crazy because like when I became a size 14, that's when I got a lot of my work. I used to wear fat pads. That's how crazy it was. Yeah. But then when I became a size 14, now like I'm a size 14 now, and like they're like, oh, size 10 is more favorable. It's like, especially in New York, if you want to do anything high fashion, anything like that, like size 10 is like where it's at. But if you want to do like what LA is known for is commercial work, so like Old Navy, Walmart ads, what you see on the internet with Forever 21, girl, Nike, that's a 14.
I can't get past the fat pads. It was the fat pads for me.
I didn't even know it existed. So what they did is I got signed, and they were like, I think you should buy some fat pads.
They're called fat pads.
No, they're mannequin padding. So like if a seamstress needed to create more shape on the mannequin, there's like foam that like you could put for your hips, your ass, like anywhere. So we would get that. You would double Spanx. So you would put one Spanx on.
I double Spanx today, honey.
Yeah, but then you would put the fat pads in between the Spanx, and then you would layer that way, so it gives you more hips. Then I would go to Victoria's Secret, and I would get the bombshell bra, which has the double D. Like you could get 2 sizes up, because I wanted to be proportioned. I didn't want to be like unproportioned.
You, in a sense, you're not fat enough. You're not skinny enough.
And so now I'm a 14. It's like, okay, like you're great for LA stuff, but if I go to New York, it's like it's a little limited.
It's completely different for me because as a beauty blogger or a beauty content creator, a beauty influencer, before, so I've been doing this for 12 years,
right?
And there was nobody that looked like me. It was
I feel like there still isn't somebody that looks like. There's very few plus people in the beauty game in general.
But why? Do you know, like growing up, I loved makeup because it's the only thing that made me feel beautiful. Because I felt like I was ugly. I felt like if I wore a red lipstick and I had amazing lashes, that I was that bitch.
But you know what? A lot of plus girls feel like they have to overcompensate on like.
But why?
Those things, because people. I talk to, because my mom is plus 2, and we talk about this all the time. I think people see plus, if we're not put together,
that's an issue.
Then
we're sloppy.
Yeah.
We're lazy.
We're very sloppy. We're very lazy. We don't take care of ourselves. We're not hygienic. Like, those are very much things. And I think that's so wild to me.
You know what is also a thing? Like, if I just wear a boxy black shirt that if another person wore, it wouldn't be considered sloppy.
True.
But for me, if I have leggings and just a regular black t-shirt, I'm underdressed. I can't afford clothes, even though we know damn well that black t-shirt cost me $50.
Nowadays, probably 100.
Right? Now, yeah, probably 100.
Yeah.
And that's the hard part about being plus size. But now I want to talk about what we go through today and how hard it is to be used as a plus size person. For example, I am very aware that sometimes I get used in brand campaigns because I'm plus size, because
100%.
I'm Asian.
It's a check box.
And yeah, it's a check box for marketing. And as much as I know I'm contributing to that, I know I have to contribute to that to create space for people like me and you. So right now, today, I am a token. And I am very aware of that, but I need to step up. We need to step up as tokens to create more space in our communities, because only then will we thrive together.
Yeah, I forgot who said this, but like in order to get change, you have to almost participate in the change and be the first to say it, because then you're not really opening the doors. So like there's certain plus girls that are getting tons of opportunity versus others. For some reason, there's like somebody holding a gate key and they only are letting one or two in at a time.
Make sure you have fat pads.
Right? But like they're only letting a few at a time, and it's like you can't hate on those girls, but what you can say to those girls is like demand for more space for other people.
Yes.
You know, like be that voice because you have that platform, and there's other girls that are dying to be with you on that platform. Or boys too, yeah.
And that's what's so challenging today. It's because we're stuck in that limbo. Are we creating change? Are we creating more space? Or are we being tokens? That's the hard part.
Yeah, and I don't think we're demanding it enough. I feel like we're embracing the token, but like maybe we need to be more of a even me myself. You know what I mean? I think there's like me just doing 2 years and influencing. I should be thinking more like, no, that's not right. Like I think things happen so fast in this industry. You still need time to like be like, no, this isn't right, you know?
And to think about it, it's only been 2 to 3 years where my body as a fat person has been accepted as a person. Like I am now considered a person. I am now considered as a person that should have clothes, that should be considered in marketing campaigns. Today is the only time.
But even today is not, to me, it's limiting.
Yes.
It's limiting, like, okay, they recognize you, but they're not fully embracing it. And I have this conversation like with a lot of people about the fashion industry, like New York Fashion Week, for example. We're just going to put 1 or 2 plus girls on the runway, and like we've checked that box. They're just, all they're doing, and not just high fashion, fast fashion as well, checking boxes. And that's what bothers me is like you're not you don't really care. You're only caring because people are saying something.
Yes.
And then you want to be selective. Like, for example, for Fashion Week, they're only going to use the same top 4 girls, and they're not going to give anybody else a chance. You know what I mean? That's not caring.
That's gatekeeping.
Yeah.
And you know what? Fat doesn't sell. But more than ever now, we see that fat pads sell. We belong in our communities, and you know what's crazy actually? We had to create our own community to feel welcome in society. Yeah. We had to create, like, I know so many plus size girls that have in the recent searches plus size fashion hashtag.
Yeah.
Plus size model, plus size girl, size 3X.
When you're on TikTok, they come up. You know what I mean?
We have to create our own community to feel valued in society. That's f***ed up.
It's messed up, but we have to be the change to create the change.
Yeah.
But I feel like, okay, now we're hashtagging it, and we're like, we're almost accepting what we have. Like, we're accepting what we're getting from these fast fashion people, and we're accepting the attitude that we're getting from high fashion on runways. Like, oh, at least they put a curve girl. No, it's not enough.
Not at least.
It's not enough. And it's not fair. Like, what I've noticed too is like brands will start plus curve divisions within their company, but not do their research and fit, not do their research and what sizing they are. Like recently I just heard, I don't want to bash the brand just yet, but like they put 4X, but really their 4X is a 2X.
Yeah.
Let's see if you can figure out who it is. And just to say that they're plus, but they're not really plus because their 4X isn't true 4X. It's actually a 2X.
Okay. You know the shirt I'm wearing?
Yeah.
What size do you think I am?
It depends because
exactly
it depends because modeling there's junior plus, which I would be like what they would have was a 1X, but if you go to Lane Bryant, my 1X I'm actually like a large and 1X. So there's different, but there's different forms of plus, and that opens the door to another conversation too, because there's plus girls as teens. There's plus girls as 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s.
Exactly.
And what they're doing is they're like literally, there's nothing in between. It's like either you're wearing muumuus floral here, or you're wearing skulls and floral and
skulls and
kimonos
come
down
on,
there.
Skulls with the roses. Can't
I
forget the
cannot.
skulls and the roses. We love
Okay,
skulls
I will call
and
out
the roses.
Tori. Tori needs to quit it. Lane Bryant needs to quit it. Like, listen to your customers. Your customers are saying what they want to say. I will give Tori it because I used to model for them. I loved their lingerie stuff. Like,
I love but the skulls and roses has.
I
got to
never
go.
bought the skulls and roses, but I
had to buy the skulls and roses.
Really?
That was the only thing that made me feel comfortable. But then, who wants to sleep with somebody who has skulls and roses
They
on
be
their shirt?
having. They be having.
Gosh, I don't
Towards
feel sexy in skulls and roses.
They would have because I would model their lingerie. Their underwears would be like a kitty, like right at the vajayjay, and it'd be like a little cartoon kitty, or it'd be like Harry Potter or Disney. I'm like,
I want to feel sexy.
I know.
Like, and I'm not boxy. I am curvy.
What they do is they literally just make everything a box.
Yeah, because it's easier for them.
It's easier for them. But that to me is not doing your research on plus and different body size types. There's Fashion Nova used to do this, is that they would take, and this is kind of how they killed the game for plus fast fashion, is they would take small, medium, and large. They already had that with their vendors, and they're like, oh, size that up like 2 or 3 inches. So they never really cared about fit. They were just going to their vendors and saying, like, just add it to make this look into a 1X, 2X, 3X. Well, a romper that fits a size small, medium, and large, I need more inseam for a 1X, 2X, 3X. Like, when you try theirs on, literally, like, it's up here, like, literally you're wearing underwear. They just don't care about those things.
You know what actually is my issue? I hate underwear. I hate plus size underwear.
Oh, I hate plus size
underwear.
underwear.
You know why? Because I have a big stomach, but I don't have a fat pussy. So why the is my vagina area 7 inches? Like, that's crazy.
That's not the problem. I hate the thongs.
Oh, how extra it is?
Literally the length, like literally, like I don't know how to explain it, but like the triangle doesn't fit my vajayjay area.
Yeah.
It's like skinny, and then all of a sudden, like my thong goes all the way up to my waist. It doesn't fit like a true triangle.
You need fat pads. That's what you need for
fat pads, obviously.
Fat panty pads.
That's always complain about the thongs because it's like isn't it supposed to cover your triangular area?
Well, honey, mine covers my thighs, my legs, and everything. If I showed you my underwear right now, this is how wide the vagina area is. Excuse me.
See, I have the opposite issue. The vagina area is not wide enough, and then the
So where's the happy medium?
Does that mean I have a fat pussy?
you got a fat pussy, bitch.
I'm fucking dead.
You know who I love though? Skims.
Okay, so
I love Skims.
You do, because I'm wearing Skims right now.
I'm wearing Skims.
Okay, but I'm
sponsored by Skims.
Right?
I'm kidding.
But I do have some notes. I really like their fits everybody.
Because it fits everybody.
But what I'm noticing is that fabric stretches if like throughout the day.
Oh, and then
you
it
have to
gets
size
loose.
down, and it gets loose. Yeah. And then so I don't.
Actually,
I think
that's my issue right now.
Yeah, like I have a wedgie right now because like
you can pick it.
It's like kind of comfortable right there.
All right, I've got to fix my fabric in my vagina as well.
No, but are you wearing the fits everyone?
Bra.
Oh, the bra. I'm wearing the underwear because I like her tones. You know?
Isn't that a thing?
Because you know what? I'm like a little bit crazy, and I want to be able to pick a bra and an underwear that match.
Yeah.
So I usually just do nudes and black.
You know what I think Skims is missing though? Skulls and roses.
She might come out with that. She did come out with something like floral. But I think I need to try her other underwear because I've only tried this Fits Everybody underwear, and I'm okay with it. Like, it's the best out. This is the sad part, and like good for them, but like the best thing out there right now for what I can find, because I used to buy Torrid underwear. So like this is the best thing I can find. And that's sad.
I think it's awesome that she did that though.
Yeah.
But I think this is the Rihanna marketing thing. It's like exactly what Fenty did, and she was like, I'm gonna do it for underwear. And I respect the hustle, and I respect the brand story of her cutting her own Spanx and all of that.
Yeah. Have you tried like her other stuff in your size and you felt like her Spanx and
I was fine with the viral TikTok dress.
Yeah.
I was fine with actually some of them, it was the Fashion Nova thing. Like some of them were either boxy or some of them were too tight or some of them was 2X but was labeled 4X.
Because I'm like a 2X for them because like I literally do not want to be out of breath putting on a 1X. Like, and like
I'm out of breath.
I'm sweating.
All the time. I'm sweating right now.
But I do what I think she was very innovative with was the Spanx with the cut off leg. So that
was cool.
That was like the best.
Yeah.
Have you tried Yeti yet? I haven't tried Yeti.
Yeti, no, I don't know why. I'll tell you one thing. I don't relate to it as much as Skims. For some reason, I respect the hustle of Skims compared to Yeti. I don't know what it is. I cannot connect with the brand. However, I connect with Lizzo. But the brand, maybe it's the font. Maybe it's the font. I hate it.
Well, she has everything in loud colors versus like I think, and not that I don't love color. I love color, but realistically, I'm not wearing color. But that's just me though. Color, because like underwear and bra, because they always, when I think fashion sense, like you can see it like through your clothes.
Yeah. So would you rather do a bright color or Skulls and Roses? I'd go Skulls and Roses.
Really? Like
is that disgusting?
Is Skulls and Roses like are they muted tones? Is that why?
Maybe. Depends. I would just do that.
Probably.
You know what I want to also talk about? Sizing.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Like we were getting into it earlier, but this right now, it's a 6X. I am only a 3X. I'm a 3X woman, but then in men, I'm a 2X.
Interesting.
And then in Asia sizes, I don't even fit in Asian sizes.
Well, in Asian sizes, we were talking about this. I'm getting married soon, and I have a Chinese like tea ceremony, and I have a customized dress. So they like it's called East Meets Dress. They also do like any dresses that you want customized. They're really
Shout out
great.
to them. Sponsored by.
They're really great to work with. But my brother also got married a couple of months ago, so I needed to have a different dress for his wedding. I can't wear red because the bride's wearing red. I go to downtown LA because I was like, that's the fastest, cheapest way I can do it. And the first store I went to, who was highly rated on Yelp, told me I needed to lose weight because she's like, you can't fit these dresses. You have to lose weight. And
You've got to lose weight
for the event. I'm like, I'm not.
You've got to gain weight.
I got
You've got to
so
lose
annoyed.
weight.
I was like, I'm not losing weight.
How dare
I went next
better
door.
Wait, girl.
The girl was like, I have a 6X and I think you can fit a 6X.
But then 6X, honey, you're a 2.
And then
Excuse
I thought
me?
like
That's disrespectful.
a 6X, like, and then I started thinking about like my Asian sisters in China or like just Asian girlies in general, like how that has to be traumatizing because they like, where are they shopping? How are they getting clothes? You know what I mean? That sucks.
Thinking about my hardships versus other people's hardships, I'm complaining, and I live in a world where we have Skims, Yeti, Torrid.
Yeah.
We have options.
Even though it's limited. It's
we have
super
options.
limited. But we still have a little bit more options than what other people have. My issue with our options, though, is that there's not a scale of quality and size or cost appropriate. So like if you wanted something really high end, they say we use extra fabric, so we're gonna charge you $200 to $300 more.
Not the extra fabric.
Versus like, you know, something else.
So going back to when you were younger,
Yeah.
Do you remember how you felt when you would go shopping with your friends?
Oh, terrible. So my two best girlfriends were literally 90 pounds. Literally. And I remember this one time, mortified, like the worst. I will never forget it. They wanted to wear, like at the time, like Roxy. PacSun was really in. So like Roxy and what Famous brand or whatever. I can't even remember. And all those surfer brands. And it was one of my best friend's birthday. And she's like, I want to do a photo shoot. Remember those days where you go and do a little photo shoot?
With your little Canon camera? And it was pink?
You those backgrounds and stuff like that. So she wanted to do that. And those shirts were pretty expensive. They were like $50 a shirt. And my mom, she wanted like Superman shirts. That was just the thing. I don't know why. And my mom goes, no, I'm not buying that for you. That's super expensive. That's $50 for a shirt. I'm not buying it for you.
Yeah.
They didn't even have my size anyways. I'd have to go to like men's, right? And they're like petite. So they're like size extra small. So I had to wear a white tank top and they were wearing the matching outfits. And they're like same size, look the same. And the photographer didn't know what to do with me. So he did the worst thing possible. He put
you
me
in the middle?
He put me in the middle, but on a fucking baby horse. Those little baby rocking horses.
That should have been this photo.
I should have. It's the funniest thing, and I don't think my girlfriends are aware like how that made me feel.
How did it make you feel?
I hated it. I could have cried. And like, they're both sitting on the side, kind of like this, you know what I mean? And I'm like
on a fucking rocking chair.
On a rocking chair. And think about it, like during that time, like there wasn't flattering clothes for girls who were curvier. Like, so it was like a box tank top and like, you know what I mean? It just, it just did not look good. And I remember it was our senior year, and you know how sometimes you get like, we've been friends since we were in 4th grade. So like we wanted a page in the back of the yearbook because we were graduating. And I remember they specifically wanted to put that photo on there. And I was like, please do not put that photo. They didn't understand. And I don't think they'll ever understand. But like, they did. I was like, don't put that photo, please. That's like the most embarrassing photo. And they're like, it's funny. We all look stupid. And I'm like, no, you don't get it. You know what I mean?
You know what was hard for me growing up? The change room after gym.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I found creative ways to change.
How?
There's just ways you could put on your clothes and put on your bra.
Oh, yes.
Like you didn't want to show skin. So like I would have my oversized gym tee like first, change my pants first because you wouldn't see anything. You wouldn't see my roll. So that first. And then you would take your other shirt already prepped. So you take your arms out of the first one.
Yeah. And then you do
like
the loop.
This. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That little loop.
Yeah.
For me, I would go, so in college, I was in police school. So imagine that. I'm a plus size girl in police school. Everybody's fit, doing the runs, the workouts. I kept up. But the change room was the hardest for me because there was no reason.
It's just subconscious.
It was just me.
Yeah. For me, that's crazy that you did that. For me, like in school, like I didn't do police school, of course, but like where PE was the worst for me because I wasn't athletic.
And bras.
I thought that okay, so it's crazy. I don't know if you know, but I ran a marathon with Nike 2 years ago. And I was the biggest girl. They had sponsored 35 girls that never ran a marathon, and I was the biggest girl. I was always last in our practice, and it actually brought back trauma from when I was younger, just being bigger. It like you know how they would evaluate if you were fit by the time. So if you didn't do a mile in 10 minutes, then you're overweight and you're not. But that happened to me in 1st grade. So imagine you're a girl that happens to you in 1st grade, right? Then when you're growing up, like for me, I just then thought I was not athletic. I was not good at any sport for years. Yeah. And it's not about that. And going through the marathon and training and being able to finish 26 miles, Nike had taught me was it's not that you're not fit, you're not being properly trained. Like for running, there's running form. There's running shoes you need to wear, and it's not about how fast you are. Like there's ways to run. Like I was running wrong my whole life. I didn't know that until I did this training. But like to be told that at a young age and never to try sports or never really give it my all because I just literally thought I was unathletic because of my size. Like how many girls go through that on a daily basis, you know? Maybe not with sport, but maybe with something else, you know?
Yeah. Like I'm a 4X, 3X, 4X. But you know what being fat has taught me? It's taught me resilience. It's taught me my self-worth other than how I look. Yeah. It's taught me confidence. It's taught me acceptance. It's taught me empathy for other people. It's taught me to be my true self. And it's also taught me that I bring more to the table than what my pant size is.
At what point in your life did you feel like you realized that?
You know what? I remember exactly when it happened. So I have little sisters, and I remember like talking negatively about myself, and they were looking at me, and then the next week they were doing that to themselves. And I realized that moment, they don't look at me as Stephanie or Steffi that's size 24. Right. They look at me as somebody that's funny, somebody that's courageous, somebody that's brave. And when I started looking at myself through the eyes of the people that love me, I was able to love myself because I'm not my pant size, I'm not my panty size, I'm not my Spanx. I'm funny. Yeah. I'm brave, I'm courageous, and I bring me to the table. And then I realized what we say and how we act around the people that we love can really influence what they think about themselves, which goes back to how I felt when I was young. If my mom wasn't plus size and if she wasn't insecure, she wouldn't have relayed those messages to me. But my mom had to go through her own awakening, right?
Same with my mom.
In order for her to accept and love her body, that made me funnier and it made me more fierce. And I think it's time to take off from my glam. Catie, we're already setting it off. Here's a makeup wipe. I'm ready to de-glam with you. It's the part of the show where it's the beauty breakdown.
I like deglamming because
Yeah.
I don't want pimples. You know what I mean?
You know what's funny? Even though I'm a makeup artist and I'm a glam girl, I actually feel most confident when I'm just
Really?
me. How about you? When do you feel most confident?
Well, at home I don't wear any makeup. So like when I get my makeup done, I'm like, oh damn, I'm a bad bitch.
Oh, you a bad bitch.
But I do like prefer like not having any makeup on. I feel like it's so much more like easier to live.
And it's so
You know
much
what I mean?
free. Just like not having underwear on.
Yeah,
It's a vibe,
it is a vibe.
right? Now thinking about
Actually, though, wait, I do like to wear underwear though because I watch a lot of crime TV and I'm like, dude, I have to have underwear at night because like, what if my house goes on fire? Like, and I go outside and I don't have underwear on. I think about those things.
yeah, and what if
I'm
you
an underwear
die
girly.
and you have dirty underwears on,
Right.
and the doctor has to cut it off you, and it stinks in the
That's
room.
what you think.
That's what I think.
I think about like, oh, there's a fire in the middle of the night. I don't have any underwear on, and I'm running out with no underwear. Like, I have to. That's why I sleep with underwear because I'm like, dude, no, I have to like.
Now I'm gonna be scared of.
You know what I mean? Like, those are the things I think of.
Okay, so going back to what we talked about, and who we are today as we deglam,
Yeah.
what would you tell younger Catie?
I always say like, the white noise. Like, do you keep doing you? You're doing great. Like, I think also being Asian with like, you're really hard on yourself. So don't be hard on yourself. Like, I just remember when I was younger, I would be like in my bra and undies, and I would just look myself in the mirror, and I would literally hold my stomach, and I'm just like, you know how you like play with yourself? You're like, like, oh, if it's like you're sucking it in, you're like, playing with your fat. You're like, if I look like
you
this,
push it in.
Yeah, and I wish I didn't do that, and I wish I didn't like always care, because it's like I looked great then. Like, even now, like, that's why it's so hard to like, I hate sometimes when people call me body positive, because not every day do I feel positive about my body.
It's about body acceptance.
Yeah. And I think people need to like be more, give people, influencers too, more grace about that, because we're like everybody else. We don't always love ourselves every single day. We try.
Yeah.
But like, if like, you know, it's like you can be body positive, but then if you have a smoothie that morning, they're like, you're fat phobic all of a sudden. And it's just like, you know how people are on the internet?
Yeah.
But for my younger self, I'd just be like more forgiving, like more like give yourself grace, you know?
Yeah.
I think I should still do that now.
It's a growth. It's a marathon.
It really is. It's a journey. That's what I say. When I did my marathon, I was like, it's not about me being fastest. It's like the journey of how I got there.
You know what's so hard? Thinking about it, I think it's so difficult to pinpoint what exactly I would say to younger me. But I would give her a tip on how to make it easier. I got here because every single day I chose me. Every single day, instead of saying, I'm fat today, I said, I'm funny, I'm confident, and I'm strong. That sounds so cringy. And it sounds like, oh, these are your affirmations for the morning. But no, for real, those little times that you say to yourself, I'm fat, I'm ugly, I'm too big, I'm bigger than her, she's smaller than me.
Right.
All those little minuscule 3-second moments build up.
They build up. Well, positivity is how you're going to really excel in a lot of things, right?
And knowing your worth. And what we focus on, I find that what we focus on is always the negative.
Well, it's
because
easy.
It's easier.
Yeah.
It's easier.
I don't like to take compliments. Like, you say stuff to me today, I was like, yeah. I just,
Why?
I don't know. I don't know what to say. Like, I'm just like, oh, yeah.
But see, people would think differently. Like, I would think because you're a model, you know that you're elite, that 1% of people that are good looking.
But here's the thing, though. Plus modeling is different than straight size modeling. When you're a plus size model, like, I can't say to people, I'm a model. They're going to think, well, what type of model are you? Like, they wouldn't think elite
You're a model? Right?
Yeah. It's like, you're a model. I always say I'm a plus size model. So it clicks to them. Like, oh, like, that makes sense.
That's messed up. What
That's
do you
just how
model?
it is.
Hands? Your voice? Your nose? That's messed up.
Well, you know, or they'll be like, you're an IG model. Like, no.
Ew.
You know what I mean, though? Like, that's why I always have to put, no, I'm a plus size model. And people are like, stop saying plus size. But, like, sometimes you have to say that for it to click. You know what I mean?
But what is a model? What is a model? And what makes a model?
Honestly, who cares? Who cares
Right?
what a model is? Like, I know that's like, it has like, I've been there, I've done it, and it's like, it's so superficial in a lot of ways. Like, who cares about that? And that's why I enjoy influencing, and like, because you can be yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I have to go on set as a model. I don't get to decide my hair and makeup. I don't get to decide what I'm wearing. I had to wear fat pads. I couldn't really be myself. And it's so crazy because when I meet girls, and I'm sure you get this too sometimes, like your followers, like, they want to be models. A lot of newer influencers too, or people who are trying to break into the scene, they're like, I would love to model. I'm like, no, you would not. Like, you would not love to model. Like, you do not get to choose your makeup. Like, you don't get to choose what you wear. You're alone a lot of the times, traveling alone. It's not as fun as people think it is. Occasionally we do get great opportunities, great campaigns. But a lot of times when you first start modeling, you don't get those opportunities. That's a buildup. You know, that's not off the bat. You're lucky if that's off the bat.
You know what I'm thinking about? I'm thinking about like body shaming. And when I think about my experience, it's actually women who body shame me and not men. For like the men that I
Men love
talk to,
confidence.
Yeah, men that I talk to love my confidence, love my face, love me. But women are the ones that tear me down. Why? Why do we do that to one another?
I have no idea.
But I can think about times where before I was like who I am now, where I thought negative things about women too because I was insecure.
It's a competitiveness, I think, too, because I also think about before I was a model, I was in the entertainment industry doing PR, doing marketing. And what I've noticed is I had more opportunities given to me by men who saw my potential of being successful in that realm versus women. And I think that's just off of being competitive. Even in modeling, too, it's like, it's funny that high school, middle school, things that you go through about like pettiness, it actually continues on in your life.
Yeah.
But in different things. Like, you could even probably, we know we have it within the influencer community, even within the beauty community, even with the fashion community. It's like being in a sorority. It's like being in high school in a cliquey situation. That still applies to everything in life in different levels.
You know what the worst thing about being a plus size girl on a brand trip is?
Being the only one.
Being the only one. And when there's gifting.
Oh, this just has happened to me.
Yeah, it makes me so sad because like all the other girls get beautiful brand stuff and then I would get Amazon, which is Amazon's great and I love Amazon.
But it's not the same.
It's not the same.
Okay, so it's funny you say that. It's not funny you say that. Well, in modeling, a few things. In modeling, I'm always the only plus size model. I never work with, very rarely do I have another girl on set with me, unless it's like a fashion to figure or a Lane Bryant where it's only focused on plus. But if you go to like Forever, or if you go to whatever, you're usually like the only plus model. So I'm used to always being alone. But two things had happened to me recently. I went to Miami Swim Week. There was a gifting lounge, nothing in my size. I could not grab anything. Like, there was nothing there. So that was annoying. But just recently, I got invited to go surfing. I was really excited. I was like, I've never surfed before. Yes. But my intuition told me, like, my plus girl intuition told me, like, ask them to, like, can you ask them if they have a swimsuit and a wetsuit in my size?
Yes.
The worst thing that can, like, as a plus girl, you have to prepare for those moments.
Yeah.
And so, like, everything was fine until, like, the morning of, like, hour before we're about to leave to go. And they're like, sorry, we don't have a wetsuit or swimsuit in her size. Like, could you imagine? I was really disappointed.
I
You know it.
I've lived it.
But can you imagine like me not asking, and I drove an hour to Malibu from my house, and I get there and I'm literally, everybody's getting ready and I can't do it.
For me, my last experience that's happened to me was we had scheduled horseback riding.
This happened to Remy too.
Yeah,
this
I
horseback
don't
riding
fit
thing. Yeah.
in the freaking chaps.
Yeah.
And I was literally scared I was going to break the horse's back.
Yeah.
And I regret it. I regret not going on that damn horse. So one day I'm going to have my revenge story. I'm going to ride a damn horse.
You should. I mean, I don't like, this happened to Remy too. Like, I'm sure you heard about the horse
No.
thing. She was I'd be telling her own story. She should probably tell her story. No, because it really triggered me, because stories like this trigger me, because like I've been the only plus model on shoots and felt uncomfortable. For example, like, sorry, we'll get to the Remy thing later, but it's probably her story to tell and not mine, because it's her experience. But the reason why it triggered me is that I did a shoot with Lululemon. Lululemon, amazing.
Oh, they go up to size 22 now. 22 that doesn't fit me.
Okay, but listen, I went to their shoot they had in Palm Springs. It was a running shoot, and my run is different. I'm not a speed runner. Yes, I did a marathon, but I also I do a slower pace. I think about the journey, not the speed. And the girl, they had hired a third party, and maybe this wasn't her intention. We had a mutual friend. She seemed pretty cool. I wasn't running fast enough for her. And they had the team in a car, and us three, there's three of us, and I was trailing behind. And the guy in the car was like, we can slow down. Like, it's just a shot, right? And she's like, no, go faster, Catie, go faster. Speed up. And like made me
shots
feel
can be the same.
Right. I've modeled for 9 years now, and I've also modeled with Nike, and you don't really run in the photo shoots. Like, you fake run it. Yeah, like there's a way of doing it. You run, but you don't run that much.
Yeah,
you know what I
you
mean?
need to your face.
You gotta look good. So
Yeah.
I felt really terrible, because I was like, is she trying to tell me I'm unathletic? Like I'm literally last, and there's a car, think about it, a car in front of you with two girls, and they're only shooting them. I'm like, why am I here? Like, you're supposed to be shooting plus. Like, if you're gonna be about plus, actually
Then
be about it.
plus.
Like, we sweat. Like, be about, like, I've heard on shoots like, oh, like we have to take breaks to like wipe your sweat off, because like it's too much sweat for athletic shoots. It's like they don't know how to. These brands don't know how to deal with plus. They don't understand plus. So like, because they're not plus.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing.
And that's the issue. People or brands are creating plus size wear, but they do not live it. Therefore, they do not know about boob sweat. They do not know that we need a little bit of an inch more in clothes.
That's what I was saying about Fashion Nova earlier. They don't care. They just want the dollar.
Yeah.
But the issue, what's bad about this cycle is that they're not willing to give people opportunity to design or whatever to help.
Yeah, because fat doesn't sell.
But which is so wrong, because it's like a $1 billion industry.
But what's $1 billion to $1 trillion industry?
I guess, right?
So it's not enough, and we will never be enough. However, what we should, like, it's our communities. It's conversations like this that push us forward. And it's us just being.
Yeah.
Because me and
I think
you
more
being,
support from even within the community, because I don't think our community really, it's selective on their supporting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you feel like you got full support from the plus size community?
No, never. Never. I don't have any plus size friends, especially influencer friends. I don't have any plus size beauty influencer friends. And that is something it saddens me. Because you would think, as people who feel so left out, would be more willing to accept and be kind to other people that look like us, but we don't.
I think the issue is being competitive, because there's only one spot. That's really that's really what it is. Like, in the modeling world, there's only one time that door opens once a year. Who's gonna like be able to do that?
But the thing is, if that door opens, I can hold your hand and we can walk through that door together. But because we choose not to, because we accept the tokenism, is the reason why we are not able to move forward.
Right. I agree. I'm always willing to help. Like on the side, I've been telling models, I'm like, try to become an influencer. It's way better and blah, 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 blah. But I don't think a lot of other people are like willing to like help and share and help people grow and that stuff.
And we're just humans.
Yeah.
We're just humans.
There's enough money for everybody. Like honestly, also, there's enough opportunity for everybody.
But also if you make it. That skinny people don't feel this way. Or mid-sized people don't feel this way. Especially mid-sized people.
Mid-sized people are like completely forgotten.
Yeah.
But so are Asian people. Like Asian models and Asian people.
It's middle child syndrome.
Yeah.
And that's sad. The sad part about it, because, for example, like if you're mid-size, you sit right in that middle where you're not plus size, but clothes are a little bit tight. Or a little uncomfortable on you.
It's not necessarily the mid-size for me where I get that feeling. And this is where we kind of go back to like being mixed.
Mm-hmm.
I get that feeling being mixed. I'm not white and I'm not fully Asian.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very specific on how I'm being casted. And so I used to have really blonde hair and I would get a lot of work being blonde. So then it's like if I have dark hair, then I'm in like so like basically when you look at campaigns, right? When you're looking at a beauty campaign, you'll see a white girl, fully like blonde hair, blue eyes.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see an African American girl as well.
Mm-hmm.
And occasionally you'll see a full Asian girl. Like
mm-hmm.
you can tell that she's like Chinese or
mm-hmm.
whatever. Then usually there's a girl with brown hair.
Yeah, you're right.
And like
in beauty campaigns.
It's in beauty campaigns and usually regular anytime they're trying to show diversity. And like, so like, okay, well, where do I fit in? I'm usually the girl with the brown hair. You know what I mean? And like that pool is so big because then you're adding in Latinas, you're adding in like whoever has brown hair. It could be a white girl with brown hair too.
It's the gray space.
It's the gray space. And I always feel like I'm in the gray space.
And it's the saddest place to be because you feel the most alone.
Yeah, 100%. And that's what I feel like as an adult. That didn't really affect me as younger because I had friends and I was able to like, we didn't really have those conversations. And I was surrounded with a lot of Asian people too. So I felt like I got best of like both worlds in a sense. But but as an adult though, I find the hardest struggle with it because I don't fit in anywhere.
I think there's beauty in that. I think that's why you're exactly where you need to be, because there are so many people in this world that look like me and you that don't look like me and you, where we fill that gray space up, and that gray space isn't actually gray. That gray space is filled with color, texture, light, and people forget about that because everything's so black and white. There's a spectrum between black and white, and we need to remember that.
But the thing is like being in that gray space right now isn't cool right now. So there's
but it will be cool.
But the only way to make it cool is if like you and I speak up and say, no, this is like an important thing. Yeah. I mean, it's just kind of crazy though, right?
Yeah, but it should be second nature to us because we've already been to for anybody who's in a position where you have power or influence or people care about what you have to think or say, it's our duty.
Oh, 100%.
It's our duty and our job to create more space, opportunities, and education and awareness.
I did this women's health shoot naked.
Yeah, she did it naked. People. Yes, she did. And with Hillary Duff.
Yeah, well, I didn't get to see her. It was a separate shoot, but like I'm still on the same page, right?
Yes.
But the crazy part is like when I got the email, I immediately said yes.
Yes.
And then I was like, and then you say yes because you're excited, and then you have to sit and you have to like process it. And when I was processing it, I was like, okay, like I don't think Henry Lee is going to be pretty happy about this. Or my mom, they're like, what the hell? Like I've only would do tasteful nude in general. Yes. But I sat there and I was like, look, this is way bigger than me. Like this is beyond me. And I was trying to explain this to my mom.
Beyond you.
It's beyond me. This is for girls that are looking at me that have similarity, that can show like, oh, she's Asian, I relate to her. Yeah. Or, oh, her stomach looks like that. Because, like, you can see in the photo, my stomach is, like, I don't have a flat stomach. Yeah. So it's, like, I can relate to that. Or, like, so I, like, was like, oh, this moment is beyond me right now. And I just have to, like, let go. And so when I went on the shoot, it was just, like, you know, at first you're like, damn, I'm naked in front of people I don't know. Luckily I had like all women, you know what I mean? But still, I don't know them. You know, I'm usually only naked in front of my fiance or like when I was younger, my mom, you know?
But like going back to that, you're saying all of this and all I can think of is you were that person for me.
Oh, that's so nice.
Like you were that person for me when I'm looking for clothes. I would buy the shit that you were wearing.
That's so,
because
as a cancer, I'm gonna cry.
No, but like it's true, and like you don't realize the impact that your confidence and your fierceness and you choosing you every day has on someone you don't even know yet, and that's the power of sharing, and that's the power of our community. So if you ever felt alone, or you're ever nervous at a shoot, you think about that person.
Yeah, that's true.
That you're inspiring.
Because when you're like I was telling you, when you're in your house and you're creating the content, sometimes you don't like you get messages, but it doesn't really like click until maybe you see somebody in person and they tell you like, dang, you really helped me with that. Yeah. And that's kind of like, it's just crazy, you know?
It's the process.
Yeah.
And I think that's the good we get back.
Yeah.
For all those times we're good to ourselves and say good things to ourselves in those 3 seconds.
So now you just have to remember, like, everything is like beyond you at this point. Like, you just got to do it. You got to put yourself out there. If you don't, like, you're always going to have regrets, you know?
Try to see yourself through the eyes of people that love you, because you'll see yourself completely differently.
I feel like when I was modeling and I was learning to like let go, like of what people thought about me. Actually, it was before modeling. I remember in college when you were telling me about your moment with your sisters. My moment was in college when I figured out that confidence is how people are either gravitating towards you or not. I let everything go about how I felt image-wise. Not fully, because of course we have our bad days and whatever, but I think that's how I became successful as an individual, because I focused on my confidence before I focused on my image itself.
So if you're ever insecure about your weight or how you look, I want you to go through life like you're a 25-year-old average white male applying for a job, because even though they don't have the qualifications, they always get the job because they believe in themselves and they know they're gonna do it. That's crazy, isn't it? So Catie, now is my favorite part of our show. This is Beauty Pop Quiz. You have 1 minute to answer rapid hot fire. You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, dress or pantsuit?
Both.
Fashion trends that should die?
Low-rise jeans.
Floral, animal print, or skulls?
None.
One piece or bikini?
Both.
What piece of clothing you can never live without?
Just because we talked about it, my underwear.
How would you describe your style in one word?
Different.
What makes you feel the most fierce?
My confidence.
Fill in the blank. I feel empowered when?
I'm confident.
What Disney princess are you?
Pocahontas.
And that was Beauty Pop Quiz. Thank you so much for being on my show. It was wonderful to break down being.
I know, and I'm glad like we're like friends. Like we see each other in person. We're always like on our DMs and stuff. So it's like nice to like see each other and like we're like real friends now. Like,
I love you so much, and I am so proud of your journey, and I can't wait for what's next.
I mean, you're so iconic. Like I need you to stop with the compliments, like I said already. But thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
So Catie, tell everyone where they can find you. You gotta follow my friend. Cue Beyonce Wind.
You can find me on Instagram at Catie Li, TikTok at official Catie Li.
And that's it. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of The Beauty Breakdown. We'll be back next week with another episode. So make sure to subscribe to Past Your Bedtime on YouTube for the video version of this show. And you can listen on literally all streaming platforms. And remember, stay fierce and be unapologetically you.